Hello ladies and gentlemen, Sigval the Grim here and welcome to yet another Injustice 2 mobile guide. Today we are going to be talking about the campaign, but before we get into that I need to clarify something. This over here that many of you have pointed out in the last video is not in order to stay on the front of my mouth. This is not a sound filter, this is a sound blocker, that's why it was staying over here. If I will put it over here, you will not hear what I'm saying. But because so many of you are like, you are using your mic right, congratulations, you ruined it for everybody, not going to use this anymore. And if you hear random sounds from my laptop because there's no sound blocker, then congrats, it's all because of you. So, in this video we're going to be talking about a few things. We're going to be talking about the campaign as a whole and what you can do with it. Because once you have completed the campaign, the campaign is far from being finished because of the fact that you will, by the duration of your entire account, be relying on the campaign in order to get character shards, in order to get gear materials, in order to get reforges, and in order to get credits. And in this video we're going to talk about each one of those, and at the same time we're going to be talking about the costs that are going to be involved in farming those things. So with all that being said, if you have any questions, please leave them down below and I will make sure to answer all of them. Like this video if you like it, dislike it if you dislike it, subscribe for more content like this and hit that bell button so you don't miss an upload. Let's get into it. Okay, so we are going to talk about a few things over here, and first of all we are going to get out of the way the shard farming in the campaign. In the campaign, as many of you know, when you are going to complete a stage on Elite difficulty, you are guaranteed to get a shard for that specific character that's in the bubble. For example, over here we have Primal Swamp Thing in the bubble and you will get a shard for Primal Swamp Thing. And same goes for the entire campaign. Now when it comes to farming the campaign, I used to have a different opinion previously in terms of shards, but now I have a completely different one since I have made a new account. Look, the thing is, in the entire campaign there is only one character that is a must-have character, and that is Dr. Fate. Dr. Fate is going to be one of the best supports in the entire game and the character that you will always be using, and you can use him in any game mode. So you should definitely farm his chapter 3 times every single day in order to get him to 6 stars as soon as possible, because he is going to be extremely useful for you. Other than that, don't get me wrong, there are a lot of good characters to farm in the campaign and we'll go over them right now. Over here we don't have any good characters. Except for Greed, you could farm Greed. Greed is overrated. He's a pretty good character but not amazing. Over here we have Bane, who's a great support. We have Civil Superman, who's a great tank. In 5 we have Greed again. As I have said, pretty decent but not must have. We have over here the best character for a beginner, Atlantean Armor Aquaman, because he will help you in the arena and in the campaign at a very high extent, but he will suck in raids unfortunately. Silver Cyborg is also a pretty decent character. Emerald Green Lantern, another very good character that you can use to a very high extent in the arena. He's going to be amazing at that. Greed again, not a must-have but a decent one. Superman, a pretty good tank. In 2 I don't think there's anything, and in 1 we have Silver Batman, who yet again is a pretty good character. And previously I would have recommended you farm at least Atlantean Armor Aquaman from here, or Emerald Green Lantern from here, but now my opinion is that it depends, because those characters are not must-have characters if you have other characters to replace them. And while they are very good, Atlantean Armor Aquaman is going to be amazing in the arena and Champions Arena. But on my secondary account that I have opened up 2 months ago, I have stopped farming them because I have gotten Elite for kind of every single season in the arena, and I simply have enough characters so I don't really need to farm them. And I can farm other stages for other reasons that we will talk about later in this video. But so, when it comes to characters in the arena, there's only one must-have character, which is Dr. Fate, and there are 3 should farm characters. 1 should farm characters is Atlantean Armor Aquaman, Emerald Green Lantern, and where's Bane? Bane over here. Those are characters that you should farm, but it is up to you because it depends on your situation. Because those are characters that are very good characters and you should at some point have. But keep in mind that Atlantean Armor Aquaman and Emerald Green Lantern are going to drop from raids. And while you can farm them, you can get them higher stars faster by doing this, and they are great characters, you will end up in the long run with very many additional shards from them from the raid drops. So, I really recommend you go every single day and farm Dr. Fate. Other than that, farm Atlantean Armor Aquaman and Emerald Green Lantern only if you feel like you need characters. If you feel like you don't have enough characters, if you feel like you need additional characters for Arena and Champions Arena, definitely go for them, they are very good characters. But if you feel like you have gotten to the point with your account where you have enough teams and you don't need any more power in the Arena and Champions Arena, you could not farm them, because of the fact that they will both drop from raids and you will eventually in the long run max them out that way. And other than that, just have fun with the shard farming, though I don't really recommend you farm early. Let's say the first priority when you start an account is upgrading Superman to 6 stars. No, you shouldn't do that, because of the fact that even though Superman is going to be a great tank, you'll have higher priorities than that. So overall, you must have Dr. Fate. You should farm, if you need to, Emerald Green Lantern and Atlantean Armor Aquaman. And the rest that I have mentioned that are, and Bane over here, and the rest that I have mentioned that I have said they are good characters. You should farm them if you really want to, and if you feel like you need them, and if you have nothing better to do with your energy. But most likely you will have, and we'll get into that later. So this was everything for the shard section. Let's move on to the gear materials and Reforges section. As you all know, Reforges and gear materials are a very important resource in the game. And the easiest way to get them, and the most used way to get them, the most commonly encountered way to get them, is to farm the campaign in the heroic. And this is how you are going to do that. And just for example, I'm going to refill my energy now, because I do have 79 energy, but when you replenish your energy, actually we'll use that. Let's use that on normal so it does not go to waste. Don't mind this, I think I'll make a cut in the video over here. I'm just trying to get to 0 energy just to make a point. I have gotten myself to a full amount of energy in order to make this more relatable, in order to explain it easier. So, how are you going to farm the campaign? In order to farm the campaign, you are going to have completed the last 2 chapters of the heroic at least, and you are going to go stage by stage and use sims on this, or fight it manually, but we will talk about that later when we talk about the costs of doing this. You'll go ahead and go through this chapter with Swamp Thing. Then you'll go ahead and do the following one. Again, we are doing this for the gear drops, and we are doing the hardest ones because the hardest ones drop gears at high level. Doing the Robin one. Then we are going to do the Dr. Fate one. And we are almost out of energy, and when you are out of energy, by the way, you will need to refill energy, but first of all do one like this, so you have as little energy wasted as possible. Now getting back into this, again heroic, getting back to Dr. Fate. Now we have no energy, so what are we going to do? We're going to refill our energy with 50 gems. We are going to farm this again. Again farm this, and keep going down the line. We are going to farm now Batgirl. Keep in mind, the only shards from here that we need are for Dr. Fate, and I don't even need those anymore since I do have him maxed out. But you are not doing this for that, you are doing this for the gears mostly, and you'll also get some credits. Now go ahead to move to chapter 7. And again we are at 11 energy. Go back to the last one on normal. Don't let that energy go to waste and farm it once. Now we're going to go back to the 7th one. and for you it will cost 50 energy. I have already replenished it 2 times this time in order to start off with a specific amount of energy, and you will have to spend only 100 gold in total to do this. I'll have to spend 25 more gold because it has upped the cost for me, but for you it will not happen. Doing this again. And keep going until you run out of energy. Don't worry about the gems that you're spending or about the sims that you're spending. We are going to be talking about that later after we have finished doing this. And we are going to calculate the cost of all this and the reward of all this. Right now we have again just 11 energy left. Go again and spend it here. Keep in mind that before this video I have shattered all my gears, so everything that is going to be in the shutter menu that right now is going to be just gears that I have farmed right now with you live over here. There is 6,000 worth of materials that we can shatter. Usually I would recommend you save up 2 days of doing this. You'll need to do this 2 days and then shatter it in order to get more Reforges, because the more materials you have, you tend to be a little bit safer on the Reforges side, but I'll just confirm it for the sake of it and for the sake of the video. And we got 6,340 gear materials and 5 Reforges. Now I will backtrack the video and see how much gems I have spent, how much sims I have spent, and I will come back with some more analytics on it. Okay, so I have backtracked the video and I have added things up. So I have gotten, as you all have seen, around 6,340 materials, 5 Reforges and 120k credits. And that was at the cost of 100 gems. Yes, I paid 125 gems, but usually you will pay only 100 gems because I only refreshed it once because of the purpose of the video. And I also did use around 20 sims, so we will put also an 80 gem cost on that because it is 80 gems to buy 25 sims. So overall the cost of this was around 180 gems. And keep in mind that you will have more leftover sims after you do this, so it's not really 80 gems for the sims, but we will just put in there 80 gems. So 180 gems for 5 Reforges, 120 20k credits and 6,340 gear materials, and some shards for the characters, though the characters except for Dr. Fate are not really good. So let's take a look at the gear resources that you can buy straight away for 250 gems. The gear resources pack will cost you 250 gems, and it will give you 8,000 gear materials and 6 Reforges. So this will be costing you much more than what we have spent. It like 40% more. You'll get a little bit more gear materials and 1 more Reforge. Again, the Reforges you will drop more when you have a higher amount that you shatter all at once, and gear materials are a little bit random. I will say I got average luck anyway, but the point is that for the for a lower amount of gems we got very close to the amount of materials and Reforges that we would get from the resources chest, and we have made 120k credits on top of that and some character shards, even though we are not really going to use those. So overall this proves that this is a much more efficient way to farm gear materials and Reforges than by buying the gear resource pack, and this is the most reliable way to compare it. Now let's look at one more thing. In the campaign, as you have seen, we also gathered a pretty good amount of credits, but there is a better way to make credits, even though you should not, even though you shouldn't really do that, but we'll talk also about that. So in the campaign over here, in terms of credits, you can see that over here you are going to get 6,488 credits. It's not always that amount, but it's very close to that amount. And if we go over here in the normal campaign, you can see that you will get 4,324 credits, but this is going to cost you half the energy to do it. But keep in mind that normal campaign has much lower odds of dropping gears than the heroic campaign, and gears are very important in this game because you need to shatter them in order to make gear materials and in order to make reforges. So while farming the normal difficulty will be much better in terms of just credits, overall it's much better to farm the heroic, as I have shown you, because while farming the heroic you'll also get gears that you can break down into materials and reforges in order to upgrade your characters, and also get some character shards. So overall, if you're going to farm the campaign, even if you want only credits, still go for the heroic, just the way that I have showed you, because it will cost you much less than the other ways to get gear, materials and reforges that are in the game. And even though you will get less credits, it's much more worth it to do it that way. So this is how you do it. Some people like to do it more than 2 refreshes a day. I say 2 refreshes a day is the sweet spot, because after 2 refreshes a day you are going to have to pay 25 gems more for another energy refill, and after that another time 25 more, and that is starting to not look that worth it. Still, it would be still kind of worth it, but keep in mind that you are also going to get lower level gears because you are going to climb down the line over here even further. So what I recommend you do is that you do farm every single stage of the campaign of the heroic 8, and refresh your energy only twice a day and spend only 100 gems in total on that, and just do it again the next day. But most definitely refresh your energy twice a day and go ahead and farm the heroic starting from the hardest to the lowest, and when you got like 9 leftover energy you can spend it on this one over here in order to not really waste any energy. So this is basically the way to farm campaign. Yet again, in campaign you have 3 main resources that you're going to get: credits, gear, materials and reforges, and character shards. As I have explained, in my opinion, there is only one must-have character. There are 2 very good characters that you should get if you need, but you don't always need. And there are a lot of decent characters that you can go for. But my recommendation is, if you are in no need of new characters, for now you should focus on going down from this one all the way down to how much 2 refreshes of energy are going to be able to take you daily. I know this doesn't look for a beginner like the most optimal way to spend their gems, but trust me, this is much better than opening a chest with random chances. This was pretty much everything for this video. Thank you for watching. Like it if you like it, dislike it if you dislike it, comment down below for any questions that you might have, and I'll see you in the next one.